Hello and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I'm going to be setting up my bullet journal for 2022, which I can't believe we're already there. I'm going to be doing it slightly differently. I moved to a Hobonichi for the last 6 months. It's the 6 months one of 2021, and I just didn't need the daily pages. Most of them are empty, and I mainly just used the monthly calendars, even the weekly spreads when I had more time, but then I stopped and the majority of them were never used. So I'm going to be setting it up slightly differently. I'm just going to be putting monthly calendars in the front of it, and then I will just add in spreads when and as I need them. So this was my first half of 2020. And this was the kind of spread that I used to use at university, but now I kind of just have each assignment rather than having lots of modules that I need to keep track of what I need to do for each module. So I'm literally going to set up this in the front, all 12 months, and then if I need anything or want anything else, then I can. So say I want to journal about a day, I can, and I'll just have the rest of the book to kind of do whatever in. So that is the plan. I will probably leave them quite basic because obviously a couple of these are very decorated, and as you can see I've done little cover pages, but I probably won't decorate them this much because then in the year, as I feel like I need it or want it, I can decorate. I will be picking out a colour for each month, but I won't be decorating it that much. I will for January because obviously that's the first month, and I will be going through after the video and putting in all my deadlines. So I'm going to speed you guys up now and not add a voiceover to me actually starting this journal. So I started by struggling to open the journal, and then I just have a quick flip through all of the stuff that comes with it. It's been a year since I last had one of these journals, so I'm just kind of, I don't know, having a flip through. Obviously they're all exactly the same as they always are, so I was just having a look at all of that. So now I've got a circle tape from my scrapbooking supplies, and I've done just drawn a circle. I always do a circle on my front cover page. I have done that for since 2017, so the last 5, this will be the 5th year. So I don't know why, but I always feel like now I have to include a circle on the front page. I've been enjoying drawing these hearts, and I thought I was going to do a whole circle of them, but I just decided that I couldn't really be bothered, and so I thought it'd just be way quicker to do 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom, and then join them together. So now I'm working out how to do all the lines. So the boxes are 7. I start on the bottom line, I draw a line, and I count 7 dots up it until the point where I draw the next line. And then on the other way they are 6 dots, and it's 3 centimeters across. So the boxes going up, let me just check, are 3.5 centimeters, and the boxes are 3 centimeters in width. So that's just how I've always done it, because I find it fills up the most of the Leuchtturm with still having enough room. Obviously I always do 4 on one side and 3 on the other side. I've done the 3 on the left side for all of the months apart from February, because I had a little muck up where it's a lot easier to do it because you can see the pages shadow quite a bit, so I can see back to the previous page and see where the grid was. So I just kind of copied that but changed it to February's here, so you can see I'm drawing out with the 4 days of the week on that side and the 3 on this side, because I realised the mistake I've made. But that's the only month I've done it for, I realised after that, but I didn't think it was a mistake worth correcting, because it just means that Thursday's on the left hand side rather than the right hand side, and that's not a mistake that particularly bugs me. It does mean that when I put the months in, they are all on the left side apart from February, but I think that's absolutely fine. So here you can see me just putting all of the lines in, and I've sped this up now because it gets quite boring, that it was quite easy to do, like I said, because of the shadowing, but also because of the indentation. So I'm a very hard write I write with a lot of force, which is one of the reasons I love these Leuchtturm notebooks, is because it just really makes the page textured, and that's something that I enjoyed on the Hobonichis even as well, was because it's very thin paper. I make the paper very crinkly very quickly because of how hard I press, but it did mean that the grid kind of indented onto the next side. So it took me 50 minutes to draw all of those lines, which was definitely the longest part. So now I am picking out a colour for each month. I contemplated using the mild liners as well, but I decided that I'd stick to my Tombow pens. I will in a minute write down all of the Tombow pens. You can either pause it there. I had all of my swatches that I was using from my Hobonichi. I'll just write in the back the month name and the number in a second, so you will be able to see that, and pause that if you'd like to see. And I just add, I think I had 3 more pens, so I just wrote those at the bottom so that I had all of kind of the swatches. Rather than brush lettering them out again, I thought I'd just use the bullet side. So here I'm just brush lettering all of the months. I really like how this looks. I would say before, in previous years, I've not had Tombows. I really enjoy the brush lettering, and I definitely think if you wanted to get into Tombows, just get one to start with. I had a black for years and I broke the nib on it. So I pressed way too hard, and Tombows do wear in quite quickly, so it then becomes very hard to letter with them. So I then really didn't think that it was a good pen, but that was because I kind of broken the nib on it. So I then was watching and getting into calligraphy more, and I was trying to think of ways to do titles for my scrapbooking that would be cheaper. So I thought Tombows would be a really great investment. Rather than buying a thicker sheet, which is actually twice the price of a Tombow, I could just buy the Tombow and then I'd be able to do way more titles. So actually now some of them are more worn in than others. Like the colour that I use for October is very worn in, so I think my lettering for that isn't anywhere near as good. But I definitely would say, if you are new to brush lettering, I way preferred the mild liners brush pens, because they're just that bit shorter, so you can't really break them as much. So when you break them, it basically gets easier to do bigger writing. So I think for scrapbooking it's fine, because then I've got a much larger title that I'm trying to write. But for a bullet journal, trying to write small, you kind of want the Tombows to be in their best form. So I definitely prefer the mild liner brush pens, and I want to get them in all of the other colours. But I just have the basic, I think it's the 10 or 50, I think it's just the 10 pack. The 10 pack. So now I'm going through and adding in all of the swatches at the top to write the days of the week, and spaces for all of the numbers to go. And I just really like the way this ends up looking. I think it's a really quick and simple way, and I'm glad that I picked a different colour for each month, and they just kind of already, feel like the month they are. I really tried to match them up. October, I didn't, this is the closest thing I have to orange. I think maybe a different colour would have been better, because it does look quite summery, but December looks great with this red. So in a second I'm going to get my jelly roll, and I just add white lines onto all of the calligraphy. I find that this just makes it look so much nicer than just leaving it plain. On the lighter colours, it doesn't pop as well, like that bright pink, the bright purple, the red, the November colour, the tealy colour, it really helps it pop. And I just think it looks way better than just leaving it plain, but obviously that is just personal opinion. So I'd written on every time that I wrote out the calendars, I just penciled in the month in the top left hand, because I knew that I could quite easily get confused as to which month I had done and which months were which, and brush letting them in, I could have accidentally skipped 2 pages and accidentally brush lettered on the wrong one, and that would have been not too fun. So I've just gone and rubbed them out, and now I'm just adding in all of the numbers and days of the week, and I've really sped this up. So I said the lines took me 50 minutes to draw, the rest of it took me 40 minutes, so that means that in total this took me an hour and a half to complete, which I think is really not that bad. That isn't that much time to spend setting up my bullet journal, considering I've now set up for the whole year, and I just write to-do lists basically in it for each assessment. I will finish my university course in September, so then I will have my bullet journal like I've always had, and if I feel like I need to set up stuff in November and December, then I can. And I just love the flexibility that this has. So the Hobonichi I thought would give me more time, be quicker, but really I've set that up in 2 hours, and that's done now for the rest of the year, and I was only really using the monthly pages. So now I'm just flipping through all the months so you can kind of get a more still view. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know down below how you are planning to plan this month. I find it fascinating to hear how everyone else does it, as it gives me a lot of inspiration for the next year. So let me know down below how you're planning, because I might incorporate it. I've got my empty journal, so anything that I see I can really just, if I think it'll be useful, pick it up and use it. I haven't done any pages at the front because I just don't tend to use them as much, and I don't think I'll have time to fill them out, because I do enjoy them. Like, I like having like my goals at the front, and I might do a goals page, but I just don't think I'll fill them out. So I'll just, if I feel like I'm filling them out, I will just do it and add it in at that moment. So thank you for watching this video, and I will hopefully see you in another video on my channel.